Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Julie here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you have not yet subscribed, please smash that subscribe button, kick the like button on this video and all of my other videos. You doing so actually helps my channel become more recognizable here in YouTube and also in Google. And if you like to be notified whenever I upload new content, go ahead and ring that notification bell, okay? Before I get started, I just want to let you know about my membership. I do have membership available for my channel. As a member, depending on what tier you're at, you'll get a selective some selective perks, okay? Also, I want to remind you about my Etsy storefront. You can visit my Etsy storefront, which contains a lot of training material at www.etsy.com/shop. That's SHOP/CNA Quest, QUEST, okay? Etsy storefront, www.etsy.com/shop/CNA Quest. I also want to cue you in on my storefront in my YouTube channel. Yes, I do have a storefront with some, nurse jar memorabilia. So you can actually go to my storefront, visit it while you're on my channel and purchase you some leggings or some hoodies, right? Or even t-shirts. Yes, for Nurse Jar, right? To help support my channel. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So in this video, I'm going to be demonstrating to you the PROMETRIC testable skill makes or changes bed linen while the person is in bed. So basically, you're making an occupied bed, okay? I'm going to be explaining everything that I do step by step. So if you're in class, you can follow right along with me. As I'm collecting my supplies, you can be collecting your supplies. As I'm performing an action, you as well can be performing the action right along with me, okay? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Oh, by the way, this skill is performed on a live person. I'm only performing it on a mannequin for training, okay? But for testing, you will be performing the skill on a live person. Good morning, Ms. Jones. My name is Julie. I'm your CNA, and today I'm going to be changing your bed linen. But first, I just want to do a brief safety check. I want to make sure that your bed is in a low safe position. Your bed wheels are locked. I'm going to give you your call light in your hand. I'm also going to provide you with privacy. Now I'm going to go wash my hands and gather my supplies, and I'll be right back. One thing that you have to remember with PROMETRIC is anytime before you gather your supplies, you have to verbalize washing hands, okay? So you'll verbalize washing hands and then go gather your supplies. So what I'm going to do right now, because most test sites will actually have the supplies at the person's bedside, I'm just going to bring this overbed table around close to the supplies. The first thing that you'll want to collect is going to be a clean barrier for the overbed table. You can either use a Chucks, as I am using, or you can use a towel. The second item I'm going to collect is going to be a blanket, okay, or a bath blanket, right? And this I'm going to use to cover the person while I'm making the bed. It actually has two purposes. One, it will reduce my risk of overexposing the person, and two, it will help keep the person warm. All right. The next thing I'm going to collect are my gloves. You want to make sure that you don your gloves before you start removing any of the soiled linen. And then I'm going to collect a fitted sheet, or a bottom sheet, a flat sheet, or a top sheet, and a pillowcase. And then I'm just going to turn them upside down so they can be in the exact order in which I'm going to be placing them on the bed. All right. And I think that's all you need. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. So you'll need 6 items, supply items to perform this skill. Okay. Hi, Mrs. Jones. I'm back. I have all of my supplies with me. I'm going to go ahead and start making your bed. Okay. The first thing that I'm going to do is raise the bed level to a height that's comfortable for me to work in. PROMETRIC is big on body mechanics. So if the bed is in a low safe position, before you actually start performing a skill, if you need to raise the height of the bed to lessen your risk for causing self-injury, you will want to do that. Okay. All right. Okay, Mrs. Jones, I think this is at a good height for me. I'm going to go ahead and cover you, okay, with the privacy blanket. When you cover the person with the privacy blanket, you'll want to unfold it, okay? Don't shake it. You'll want to cover them from the chest to over their feet, okay? Chest to over their feet. Because the skill is performed on a live person, you can actually ask the live person to hold the privacy blanket in place while you're removing the top sheet, okay? So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and place my gloves. If you want to place your gloves before you place the privacy blanket, that's okay. Just make sure that you have on clean gloves before removing the soiled linen. Okay, now that I have my gloves on, again, if this were a live person, you could actually ask the live person to hold the privacy blanket in place. But because for training purposes, I'm performing this skill on a mannequin, I'm going to hold it in place, right? Just keep in mind that even though the live person is holding it in place, you're still responsible for ensuring that the privacy blanket does not expose the person, okay? So what I'm doing now is I'm removing the top sheet. I'm just rolling it down towards the foot of the bed away from me. Rolling it away from me and rolling it up as I roll it. Okay. Oh, I caught the privacy blanket. There we go. And now I'm going to immediately dispose of this top sheet into the soiled linen hamper. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is start unsecuring the bottom or fitted sheet, right? So I'm going to remove it from its corners. And I'm going to roll it away from me and roll it up underneath the person as much as possible. Mrs. Jones, I'm just going to take your call light and set it on your bedside stand. So remember, the part of the sheet or the area of the sheet that's touching the mattress is considered clean. So as you're rolling it away from you, this part is considered clean. So once you start putting on the clean fitted sheet, you'll be touching clean to clean, okay? All right. And now I'm going to take my fitted sheet, my clean fitted sheet. I'm going to unfold it, and I'm going to secure it on each corner, the corners that are closest to me. And if it keeps popping off like mine is doing, don't fret. Just go ahead and re-secure it. Okay. And now I'm going to roll this blanket towards me, or the fitted sheet, and then I'm going to push it up underneath the person as much as possible. Mrs. Jones, I'm just lifting your ankle. Remember, you'll always want to communicate what you are doing before you do it to the person, okay? To let them know what you're doing. Okay, and I think I have it up underneath her pretty good. Make sure it's nice and secure. All right, Mrs. Jones, if you could move towards me a little more. Now, with the live person, they'll be able to move towards you on their own. Because I'm doing this with the mannequin, I have to manually move the mannequin closer to me, right? Okay. And what I'm going to do, Mrs. Jones, is, okay, there we go. All right. So now that I have her closest to me, I'm going to roll her away from me. Mrs. Jones, I'm going to turn you away from me. And now I can actually push the sheets under a little bit more. Okay. There we go. All right, Mrs. Jones, if you can turn back on your back. Oops, I'm sorry, I overexposed her. Oh no, you got to be careful about that, right? All right, Mrs. Jones, I'm going to go on the other side of the bed now. And let me just move this so you all can see what I'm doing. Okay, now that I'm on the other side of the bed, I'm going to have Mrs. Jones move towards me again. So, Mrs. Jones, if you could move closer to me. And then I'm going to turn her in the opposite direction. On the count of 3, Mrs. Jones, I'm going to turn you. If you can bend your knee. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. And then I'm just going to remove the soiled linen. There we go. And let me see if I can get Mrs. Jones to stay for me in this position. There we go. I'm going to remove the soiled fitted sheet, again, rolling away from me down towards the footboard. And I'm going to dispose of it in the soiled linen. I'm going to come back and secure the sheet. Sorry about Mrs. Jones, my mannequin. But again, remember, you're going to be performing the skill on a live person, okay? So they'll be a little bit more cooperative than Mrs. Jones. Let me see if I can get her back on her side. There we go. Okay. And then you'll just want to verbalize that you're stretching out the sheet to try to get out as many wrinkles as possible, okay? Now I'm going to have Mrs. Jones turn back towards me. Mrs. Jones, if you could, go ahead and lie back on your back. There we go. Let me straighten her legs out. All right, Mrs. Jones, if you could, go ahead and scooch to the middle of the bed. So we're going to scooch her to the middle of the bed. Now keep in mind, again, the skill is performed on a live person. So all you have to do is give the person instructions on how you will want them to move, and they'll do it on their own. You won't need to assist them in any way. Okay? All right. So now what I'm going to do is place the top sheet, right? So again, I'm going to unfold the top sheet. And folks, the tag should be at the bottom, okay? Not at the top, at the bottom. So I'm placing the top sheet, and as you can see, I'm just going to drape it over the footboard, and you'll see why I do this in a few minutes. Okay, we'll get her covered up. Now that I have the top sheet on the person, I'm going to remove the privacy blanket. Again, you can ask the live person to hold the top sheet in place for you, okay? But because I'm performing this on a mannequin for training purposes, I'm going to hold it in place, okay? And just remember, even though you have that person holding the sheets or blanket in place, you're still responsible for ensuring that person does not become overexposed. So I'm just rolling this privacy blanket away from me. I'm going to place it immediately in the soiled linen hamper. And now I'm going to go ahead and get my top sheet straightened out, right? I'm going to push it underneath the mattress, like so. And on this side. And now I'm going to make hospital corners. Okay. The easiest way to make a hospital corner is just to take your hand on the inside of the sheet and fan fold it over. Okay. And it's going to end up like a triangle. Okay. The part that's hanging, you push under the mattress and then just fold it back over, and you have a nice hospital corner. Okay. I'm going to move the table over here on this side, my camera, so you all can see, maybe get a little closer view. Okay. All right. So I have the sheet tucked in underneath the mattress. I'm taking my hand on the inside of the sheet and I'm just fan folding it upwards, making a nice smooth triangle. And then the hanging part of the sheet, I'm tucking underneath the mattress. And then I'm just fan folding it back down. Nice little hospital corner. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see. There we go. Nice little hospital corner. Okay. All right. And then you'll want to loosen, right, the sheet over her toes. So one, she'll have some wiggle room. And two, you don't want to create pressure on the person's toes. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and we got the pillowcase, right? So I'm going to ask the person to lift their head up so I can remove the pillow. Mrs. Jones, can you go ahead and raise your head so I can get your pillow? All right, awesome. So I'm going to remove the pillowcase. Okay. I'm going to immediately dispose of the pillowcase into the soiled linen hamper. Sorry guys, it keeps my swivel keeps losing track of me. Now I'm going to put on the clean pillowcase, and you want to make sure that you put it on where the tag is. Okay, so you don't want the tag showing. So I'm going to place the pillowcase like so. And then the opening area you want to place away from the door. Okay, so I'm going to place the open side of the pillowcase away from the door. Mrs. Jones, go ahead and hold up your head for me. I'm going to put your pillow back down. There you go. Awesome. Now the next thing I'm going to do is remove my clean barrier. Dispose of it in the trash. Okay, if you use a towel as a clean barrier, do not dispose of it in the trash can, okay? You need to dispose of it in the soiled linen hamper. Because I used the chucks, it's disposable. I placed it into the waste bin, okay? The next thing I'm going to do is remove my gloves without contaminating myself. Dispose of them in the waste bin. Immediately verbalize washing hands. All right, Mrs. Jones, you doing okay? Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and give you back your call light. There you go. I'm going to lower your bed down to a low safe position. So you have to remember, if you raise the height of the bed to a level comfortable for you to work, right, and reduce your risk of self-injury, before you say skill complete, you have to lower it back down to a low safe position. All right, Mrs. Jones, is there anything else I can do for you? All right, awesome. Okay, so you always want to ask the person, is there anything else I can do for you? You want to make sure that you promote that person's preferences, okay, during the skills exam. So now that Mrs. Jones is all set, she's comfortable, got nice clean sheets, I'm going to verbalize washing my hands. I'm going to wait, just a few seconds, rewind, play back everything, or play back my performance, making sure I did not perform any steps incorrectly, making sure I did not omit any steps. When I feel confident and comfortable with my performance, I will then say washing hands, skill complete. Now, when you review your performance in your head, you don't want to take all day, okay? Just a quick second, all right? So during this performance, I did have a little accident with overexposing Mrs. Jones. And what you'll want to do if that happens when you're performing the skill during testing on a live person, you'll want to make a self-correction, okay? All you have to do is look at that NAE and say, I need to make a self-correction. The NAE will ask you, what do you need to self-correct? You will tell her, I accidentally overexposed the person. The NAE would then ask you, how would you correct that? And then you will tell them by making sure that the privacy blanket stays in place. The NAE will have you start or restart the skill at that point, or because you verbalize how you would correct that error, they may tell you just to continue on. Okay, so it all depends on the NAE. But as soon as you realize you have made an error, okay, you've made a mistake, you need to stop right then and there and make that self-correction, okay? I hope you all enjoyed this video. Yes, it's been a while. I'm going to keep I'm going to try to keep my PROMETRIC videos coming. I still have like 2 handfuls to do, but hopefully I have enough on my YouTube channel for you all to get started, okay? Love you guys. Thank you so much for being loyal to my channel. And don't forget, I have memberships, okay? So join a membership tier. Ciao.